All right, guys. We are live at 7:30. We took a little break last week. Had a bunch of doesn't look like it here behind us, but we did have a bunch of little construction going on in our house this last weekend. You didn't see me out at a show at all. We have Lisa and I live in a 50s house, and we had the whole thing. Well, we had the plumbing repiped, basically all of the water redone. That took several days, and so we were camping out here basically for the weekend, um, managing that. But hey, I'm glad to be back on the show. I'm looking forward to giving you a bunch of information, talking about some stuff that's happened in the last week or so. Thanks, Ron, for coming out, being the first commenter there. Thank you for coming out and joining us. I'm going to give people a couple minutes here to get on and get the thing, and then I got a whole like 4 pages of notes here. So we didn't do a show last week, so I am going to go over a bunch of stuff. I'm going to go over some back end things that I want to share, in all of that. So thanks for coming. Thanks, Lisa, for coming, and JD. Hope you did well at the show this last weekend. I think you were one of the people that were there. And Mike, thanks for coming out, Mike and Margaret. And it's somebody new. We got somebody new coming to Kissimmee, Felix Comics Corner. You've been making a bunch of posts that we see. So thanks for coming out. Okay. And thanks for Brian coming out to watch, too. He'll be in, I believe you're in Kissimmee. I'm sorry, I don't have the map in front of me. I mean, I do, but I'm not looking at it. So thanks, Brian, for coming out. All right, guys. I'm going to start real quick here that we've got a couple weeks of shows this weekend. I'm going to go over, for those of you that are setting up in Port St. Lucie, I'm going to talk a little bit about the setup. And we're gonna just go over the page, but we do have Port St. Lucie this weekend. We got special guest Keith Coogan. Yes, we've had him at other shows. Him and his wife Pinky are Floridians now, so you might see them a little more often. They've never been to Port St. Lucie, and I think I'm trying to remember if they ever did Cocoa, but I don't think they did Cocoa actually either. Maybe they did. Did they do Cocoa? They haven't done Cocoa. Okay. Maybe we'll have them out at Melbourne next. I'm not really sure, but actually, let me go ahead and. So, but that is this Sunday. We are back to work, back to toy time. This Sunday down in Port St. Lucie. Like, we're gonna figure out. I want to say we'll see. This is our third show at Port St. Lucie at the Polish Club there. The people are really nice. Easy to deal with. There is some decent amount of parking. This last time we had last fall, we had some issues with parking. And then Abe will be returning with food out front. I believe he's going to be out front. And yeah, and then of course Mark will be there also this Sunday. I believe he's bringing some great items. I don't have any pictures of the great items, but he always brings good stuff. I'm always bugging these vendor guys for photos to share with you. We will have our friend, we will have a bunch of new people also. But in addition to that, we're going to have Jerry Brand, who we don't usually get in Port St. Lucie. We don't, he's usually on some country. He travels the country to go to the bigger shows. And so we're kind of a filler in sort of for him, even though he lives here in Florida. And we will have Andy over there in the Kissimmee. Thanks for joining us, Andy. And thanks for coming out and watching the show. All right. Again, Port St. Lucie this weekend. And then immediately following that, we're going to be in Kissimmee in the big room. People have been bugging me to do the big room. This might be I honestly, guys, I think I'm gonna do it this time, but we'll see how it works out. Okay. We do have a ton of people interested, but that in Orlando, I just don't know what that means. But so we're gonna have right now we have over 4,000 people interested for that show. Okay, we are gonna have a guest or two. I've got to confirm with one other person, but we're gonna have the Ghostbusters. We're gonna have we haven't had Brutus in a while, so I invited Brutus to come, Beefcake to come to the show in Kissimmee. So I'm gonna be posting that here soon, maybe tomorrow. And then I have one other guest I'm going to check back with for this show, for the Kissimmee show. That is in 1 week. That is 20,000 plus square feet. Everybody is going to have, plenty of room to walk around, plenty of room to, to set up their stuff. And so it's kind of a tester to see how it works, because it is way more expensive for the vendors. If we don't get more people to justify the room, then we're just gonna. I am already planning on going back to the smaller room on October 3rd. Okay, I'll be bringing up the schedule several times, but I've got what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of double dip here. October 3rd is gonna be back at the Osceola Heritage Park. This time, what we're going to do differently for those vendors that are on here, we are going to have a setup day the day before, even though it's a small room, because the last few times, I'm just going to spend the money. And the last few times we get in there and, people, we get in there and then it's a craziness. And I'm trying to mitigate craziness. So we're going to do that. And then, so anyway, we are going to be in the bigger room in the fall, or the smaller room, sorry, in the fall. And then, we're going to do Altamont here on October 4th. The one I just posted a video, of somebody, doing a video there. So we are going to be doing that, in October. So I'll probably be posting that up, both these shows up very soon, because I already have contracts and they're already hitting me up for deposits and all of that. So, yeah. So anyway, this is, I'm sorry, from a vendor perspective, I know we're doing a lot of shows, but that also means people paying for tables. And I understand that not everybody can pay for tables, for all these shows, for the couple people that have done that, I appreciate that. But this is a lot to manage, not only for you guys, but for me, because all of these buildings all want money. When I book the show, I got to give them a deposit of some kind. And some of these event people, it's just depending on when I book it is how much they want a percentage before I'm able to even sell any tables. So I appreciate everybody that signs up, and I appreciate everybody that that signs up for stuff that's in advance. Okay. A couple people I just want to thank, for sure. Recently, like Joel Meadows, he signed up for several shows, including the GI Joe show that I posted the other day in Melbourne. Alex M there, he signed up. Andy signs up, and then of course our friends Margaret and Mike there. They're way ahead, and they're pretty much exclusive with us, other than the Hot Wheels shows and some other stuff. So I appreciate that. Okay, again, Kissimmee's right after Port St. Lucie this weekend. So just let me go back to my notes here, make sure I've covered everything, and then we'll move on. All right, I still have, okay, so on Port St. Lucie is sold out, so I have no space, none. It's going to be tight this weekend, and the reality is I may, depending on how it goes from a overall thing, I might start looking for another space. It's has nothing to do with the people there or anything. It's just that I'm realizing that it is a tight thing, and I just want to see, so that does mean that we are going to be sticking with our 2026 pricing, which is for 1 days, which is 15 from 9 to noon on show day, and then afternoon is $10. Okay, and what that has done all year has basically smoothed out the parking, smoothed out the line, made it so not everybody's in a rush at the beginning. We always have kind of the shows have been more consistent, where it's not like a initial rush and then nothing, like at or like a more dead or time, I want to say around noon. So we get a second rush there around noon. So anyway, thanks a lot, Marcy, for coming out, and thanks for Kylo for actually. And I love her logo. I told her that she's like a cool drawing there and everything. But thanks for watching on YouTube, and thanks for watching on YouTube. We do have a YouTube channel. Like all the videos that you see on here on Facebook, they are deleted because they are live. Okay. So after like a month, they're deleted now. So that's why you don't see me doing a lot of these live videos anymore, is because they delete them after a month, and I lost a lot of videos because I forgot to download them. So of like locations and all of that stuff. So I'm definitely going on YouTube. I'm going to be trying to do more on YouTube. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Look up Florida Toy Shows, and you'll see that. Let's see. And Ron always likes more space. And Tracy will be there this weekend. Thanks again for watching on YouTube. And Alexandria will be back. She's never done the Kissimmee show. She's only set up in Tampa with us, so we'll see how it goes. I do have a few more tables for Kissimmee. I did just have a cancellation for a wall, so if somebody is interested in a 10 by 10 wall, I do have that. If not, we'll just, I'll figure it out, because I'm not going to be using the entire room as it is right now. I don't see, I never wanted that space, because it's like at that location is 5,000 or 25,000, and with all the shows going on in Orlando now, okay, and there is something every week, whether it's a Pokemon show or somebody else doing a toy show, because they feel that there isn't enough of them in Orlando. I mean, let's see, if you don't have a table. Oh, well, I think you do actually, Tracy. I think you have a. I'll follow up with you on that. I think you might want that other one. Okay. But basically, so we still have a few tables, which normally we wouldn't. And when we come to the fall, because of the size of the space, we won't have any at 2 weeks before the show. We won't have space, okay, because we'll be at the smaller venue. But I do have that, and then I also have Lakeland. That's a great idea, Stephen. Thanks for mentioning that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to talk about that. Actually, wait a minute. He just said something about me posting a link. Let me look myself up here. I'm going to share this tab. Let me see if am I showing you guys. Hold on. Remove. Okay, hold on. I'm going to Stephen Walters just mentioned this, so I'm gonna do that. So if you it's funny, I got all these different things, but not my own. Okay, view channel. Boy, I'm just not. Oh, here we go. So I'll go ahead and post a link in here to this. That's our page. So you'll see we're live now. Please subscribe, and I'm going to add more videos as we go. But let's see. The other thing I wanted to share, I'm going to talk a little bit about this here in a minute, is our setup for Port St. Lucie. I'll do that in just a minute. But okay, let me go ahead and all right. So again, I just want to go over, and I'll repeat this again probably. Awesome. Thanks for doing that. And then okay. All right. So let's see. Still have a little space for Kissimmee, and then I have space for Central Florida Collector Fest at RP Funding. I think most of the walls are sold. There might be a couple left. I don't remember. The only reason why we have those is because, unfortunately, this show is on the same weekend as River City WrestleCon, which I think Abe always goes to that, and so we'll lose Abe, and then we'll lose Richard and Jeremy, but and I think somebody else. But there's a lot of vendors that have kind of started with us, and maybe they have a store. I can name probably 4 or 5 stores that people have started since we started. They started with us, or maybe they had something part-time at a antique mall or flea market, whatever. And then they decided, to do the shows with us. And then now they have a store. There's that, so there's some vendors that haven't, showed up or don't set up with us anymore. Unfortunately, but,
Makes room for more people to bed.
Yeah, it just makes exact. Thanks, Lisa. It does make more room for more people. All right, so let's talk a little bit about. Let me see. I went through. This is the third show at Polish Club. We won't be able to do. Let me go ahead and go over that that setup. Just so we got that kind of out of the way. So of course, the setup time is going to be 6:30. All of this link to this page will go out to you guys that are vending at the show this weekend, this Sunday. So like before, we're not going to be able to get in there till 6:30. There might be some movement on the tables there. Again, Abe will be there with food. So if you're you don't really need to bring food, or you can. I'm just letting you know there will be food on site to buy at great prices. Parking, there's plenty of parking there, but we are instituting our early bird pricing there. And okay, I've already talked about everything about that, but on this page you'll see this is the times. This is a link to the map that shows the Polish Club. This is the address, and then this is our show times, parking, etc. And then we got some pictures of the building here. And so you'll see you can pull in under there. There's parking is out here on the right. The load-in door is going to be the front door, or this door here towards the back of the building, away from the Prima Vista. You'll see another door here. I believe we let people come in there for a little while. And then you got 2 rooms. So it's a decent amount of space. It's about 8,000 square feet for us. It's not, it's a little small, or it's getting a little small, but I think, it's, it's adequate for where we started, because this is only our 3rd show at this, down there at Port St. Lucie. So we'll see how that goes this weekend. Abe's Burgers. Yeah, Abe will be there. And he's going to be outside this time. So I just don't think that he's getting the attention that he needs to sell stuff. And yes, and there is some space in Lakeland. If you guys hit me up or go to the website, let me go ahead and bring that back up here. So if you guys go to the website, my website, let me share that. Okay. Sorry. How did I? Okay, so this is the website, floridatoyshows.com. I need to add some pages to this, like frequently asked questions. I need to work on that. But okay, so this link here will take you. This link up here will take customers to the tickets or information on the latest show. Here's our flyer here. We got our flyer of the guests coming, and then our current schedule, and then all of these. I update this every time I add a show. I update this page, so after every show, I'm updating this page. So here it shows all of the shows that we're doing, and then under each one, there's a Facebook page, so you can look at that, maybe see how many people are interested. And then to the right, I have a vendor sign up and tickets. Okay, so you'll see I'll change this to tickets, vendor reg, and tickets. Okay, so so these are all the ticket links. So you'll see I have all of the. Let's see, oh, this one's wrong. This is actually, the graphic is wrong. See, that's a mistake on my part, but it is Melbourne. It does go to the Melbourne page. So I need to fix that. Okay. So the last one I think I got some extra stuff here. So I need to fix that. But, you guys didn't see any of that because it said, so anyway, as I mentioned, go to the website, Florida Toy Shows. You got a link here. Sorry, guys, I'm not looking at the chat right now, but this is basically the website. It has a listing of all of our shows. I'll need to fix the bottom one, basically, but it's got our schedule on there and everything else. Okay, so let me go ahead and remove that, and then. Okay, so are there any more events in Tampa? Yes, we're going to have an event. If we look at the schedule here, our big event, Tampa Toy Con, is coming up on the 11th. I'm going to be posting a bunch of guest information here soon for that. And then we have another show in the fall in Tampa at the Florida State. So we have 3 Tampa shows a year at the fairgrounds. Okay, as of right now. So we have a spring, April, we have a July Tampa, and then we have Tampa Toy Con, and then, which is our big show, 50,000 square feet. And then in October, we have the extravaganza. That show is moved from November to October. Okay. All right. As far as Tampa goes. All right. Okay. Let's see. Let me go back to my notes here. And all right, so I'm going to share some behind the scenes dirt here of the week. Dun dun dun, as Lisa just said. Okay, so I'll tell you, it's amazing being anyway, the things that I hear about myself, or the things that are, just that are going on, are just some, I said it before. I know about a month ago or something, I was probably pretty angry on here. I really wasn't. I mean, I was upset, yeah, that day, but I just, I being a promoter, a show promoter, and being one that is successful and serious, okay, about the shows, which I am. Everybody knows that. All you guys that are watching knows that. Is that it's a war out here, okay? And I would say, even if you're a vendor, it's a war out here. To sell product, to get in the right shows, to get the right booths, to go to the right events, sign up, and then and all of that. And hey, how are you? I still haven't seen you. Hopefully we'll see you soon again. We did see you at Altamont. That's true. Oh, he was at Tampa. Oh, that's right. Okay. You're right. He was. Okay. Sorry, I'm over here throwing him under the bus. Thanks for coming out, Dave. Okay. But anyway, yeah. Okay. Anyway, yeah, being a promoter, out here is it's like a war. I will say vendors probably have the same thing, but it's just like every other week there's new shows. Every other week I hear things. So this last week I was called by some people in Georgia, and I talked to them, or I talked to somebody, and it turns out the people in Georgia think that I'm doing a show every weekend down here in Florida. There was a guy who runs a show up in Georgia. I'm not going to mention who it is. It's not Joe Fest guy or anything, or because the Joe Fest Ed, that show is a great show. I want to say it is a great show. I've been to it several times. They do a good job there, and I just think that he should leave it where it is. But it's great. It's a great event. But it was somebody else, actually, somebody that didn't want me to actually come to Georgia. So they think that I do a show every week, which I thought was extremely funny. No, we're only doing shows half of the year. So 50% of the weekends we have a show. Oh man. I also was told, the reason why I wasn't given a booth at that show about a couple months ago, someone said, "Oh, Jeff is going to bring drama to the show." Why am I going to bring drama? All I wanted to do was sell my stuff. That's ridiculous. So I don't know. I get a chuckle on here. But anyway, what I do want to say is most vendors, want more shows. Now, for me, this is I can't expect vendors to be exclusive to Jeff. Okay. I would love that. And there are a couple people that, I'm doing enough for them. We're doing enough shows for them that they are able to have enough shows for them. Okay. But not everybody's like that. There's a lot of people that they want to do a show every week. Okay. And I'm just not willing to work that much. Okay. It's bad enough when I have three shows in a row, which is about my max now. We have done 4 shows in a row, but it's too much. It's too much. We are absolutely dead. And hats off to Tracy. Said she does shows a lot and more weekends. This is a major ordeal to put together these shows and to get people here. If you're just throwing something together and you don't care maybe about how many people are showing up or whatever, then maybe it's not too crazy hard. But this is a continuous thing ever to do. Like I'm working all the time for these, for the most part. There's the day off here and there, but it's a lot. Okay. So what I'm saying is when these other shows come up and then the vendors I have, I'm trying to create a really nice, my goal for the show is for customers to come in and have a great, they're going to see great variety of stuff. They're going to find, treasures that they're not going to find at every other show. And then ideally they're going to have vendors, at my show that they're not going to have at every other show that they're at. That's my goal. So, but I know that, vendors aren't going to be exclusive to me no matter what I do. Okay. But for those that are mostly exclusive to me, to our shows, and we do have a few of those people. Okay. I am going to try to give them more perks, which a lot of these guys already have this. So if you're a regular, you already know this. So the people that are mostly exclusive with us, they're going to get preferred. I'm going to give them preferred table locations. That's just the way it is. You're not going to be a new person and that's never done our show, and I'm going to put you like right in the front of the show, or I'm going to put you at what I'm calling a preferred spot. I'm just not going to do it not just because of this reason, but because I don't know what you're bringing. I mean, you say you're bringing this certain stuff, but I don't know that until I know you, until I meet you, and maybe you look at this as a negative thing, but I got to give the vendors that follow me and come to multiple shows, I got to give them some kind of exclusive stuff. All right. The other thing is I give out discounted booth pricing. Okay. So if you're doing multiple shows, you're doing 6 shows, or you're paying for 6 shows or whatever, I'm going to give you, if you've been to my shows for a long time and you're a regular and you got great items, I'm going to give you a discounted booth. Okay. I'm going to give you, I'm going to give you some discounted pricing. And that is because, you're following me. These shows don't run without great vendors. Okay. And so I want to make sure that you have that we have great vendors at every show. That's what customers expect. That's what I want. And in order for us to grow and be the premier show, that's what we're doing. And then the other thing is every show. Now I want to have a more refined way of doing this, but every show, okay, every show we get people that say, hey, I have X, I have Barbies, I have Hot Wheels, I have, Star Wars, I have whatever, comics, whatever it is. And from every show, I get comments that I end up deleting, or I will try to give out the leads. I get leads off of Facebook, and usually, or even at our shows where people have a collection and they want to sell it. They want to bring it into our show and sell it, but I'm not going to allow them to do that because vendors' sales comes first. Vendors are the ones that paid for the tables, okay, and all of that. Now, the other perks, I've done a lot of different things for a lot of different vendors, and I'm not, tooting my own horn here, but basically I'm going to expand that, okay. I'm gonna be expanding that, so that the more you do with Jeff, the more that I'm gonna try to help you, and be supportive, of you. There's some other hidden things that I'm not putting on here, but I just want you to know that, look, I realize that you can do other shows, okay, and you want to do other shows, but the reality is that if you can see, and I want people to do other shows. I want other promoters to do other shows. My problem is with the other shows, and especially the ones that they come out and they're like, oh, we're free. Okay, well, we're free. We don't charge. And that's fine. If that's what way you want to work it. Okay. But my issue is that people then come to me and say, why do I charge? Well, the thing is, the reason why I charge is because I don't vend. We don't vend. My wife vends here and there. She sets up here and there. And there's a reason why I don't vend in general. Okay. The only time you're going to see Jeff set up is because I think that we need more stuff. We need more vintage. We need more items, in the show, like maybe more of something certain. Like maybe we don't have, I don't know, maybe we don't have a bunch of He-Man this time, or we don't have a bunch of something. So I'm going to try to bring that out of my own personal collection to actually sell. And I figure, well, I'll find it again. Okay. But that's the only time that you're going to really see me vend is that. So our business model is not, we aren't vendors. Okay. The free shows that you see, typically those people that are putting on the show, they're vendors. Okay. We're not vendors. So so that's our business model. Our business model is we gather the vendors, we charge for our tables, according to a budget, that allows for us to have the next show and to pay for the next show, okay, and to buy some advertising so people can come there. And actually we have help, and we pay people for that help. There's nobody working at our show for free. Okay. We don't expect people to be free or volunteer. I mean, yes, we have some volunteers and we give them something. We don't really, they're not just there and then they get nothing. We always give somebody something, even if they volunteer. Okay. Whether that's lunch, a t-shirt, free entry, all of that stuff, we do that. And then I like to have room to where if I need to make, invite new vendors and give them a space, all of that stuff, the space costs money. It's not, the spaces that we're renting are not, none of them are cheap. None of them are cheap. Okay. And we're in Florida. Sorry, I'm going on a little thing here. Excuse me. But it's just the freebie model does not work a long term. Okay. There's no money for advertising. I spend, again, somebody's annual wage on advertising. Okay. If I started throwing out some of these bills that I pay every month, you guys would be blown away. Okay. Nothing major, Jeff. We didn't talk about you. Let's see. We talked about free shows. Let's see. And we talked about vendor perks, and we talked about Port St. Lucie. And I believe that Jeff Mikado, Slap Happy Toys, he hasn't sent me any pictures yet on what he's bringing, but we talked about how people in Georgia think that we're running a show every week. Did you tell him that, Jeff? Did you tell him? Anyway, but so my goal is again to just I don't have the luxury of not having people at the show. I have to have people now at the show every time, or vendors just aren't going to sign up. Okay. And what I'm asking vendors for is to give me a little bit of exclusive, give me a little bit, go out and sign up for the shows that are great. Again, I don't blame people for signing up for Joe Fest. I don't blame people for signing up for River City WrestleCon. Those are great events. Okay. But, when you got a show that only 100 people are expecting to go to, that's not a show. I mean, that's just a filler or a hangout. And that's what you want to do. That's fine. But, I'm not going to, try to help you at that show. So anyway, moving on. Let's go and move on here. So on to my other notes. Port St. Lucie. What do you mean you had 10 phone calls? If you want to come on and tell me about these 10 phone calls, I'm interested. I will say that, I was told by somebody else that they had 6 calls about me, but amazing. Okay. Anyway, that's an offline chat. You're more than welcome to call me, Jeff, anytime. Okay. Actually, I do have a show idea that I want to run by you. I'm not going to talk about it here. Okay. Let's see. Let me just make sure I've gone through all these notes. Okay. Behind the scene, talk a little bit about the Georgia stuff, exclusive vendors, what my goal is.
And our super vendor program is in full force.
Yeah, well, super vendor.
We got new shirts, we got new badges.
Oh yeah, I gotta order more shirts, believe it or not. I do have new badges for vendors for most of them. And then did you send me any pictures, Jeff, to share? I just got these new, or I got these new, this new case. This is pretty cool. Put some Hot Wheels in here. If anyone out here, I'm looking for the Chase version of this Hot Wheel, silver. So if anybody has this, let me know.
Lights for your badge.
Huh?
Jeff wants lights for his badge.
Lights.
Light up badges. I'll get him some lights for his badge.
Okay. All right. I want to go over the schedule real quick. That's pretty. Excuse me. So let's go over the schedule. Let's see. So again, Port St. Lucie is this weekend. It's sold out. Kissimmee, I have a few aisles left there. And I believe I have corners and aisles left here at RP Funding. I'm going to be sharing hotel information for those that are interested. And then Ocala is sold out. And then I have space in Tallahassee. Now, if you're interested in Tallahassee, what's great about that is, the tables are like $75. Okay. The walls are gone, but I have aisles for $75, and those are going to be like 8-foot tables with like 6 foot behind you. So it is just one day. But the tables are $75. We got a great, we have probably 2,000 people interested in that already, that show. It appears Abe will be coming up. We'll have some people from Alabama back. at that show. Maybe Louisiana. I'm going to invite some more people, but if you know some people there up that way that you want to share a show, that is Tallahassee, June 20th. Okay. And I need to order some smalls, mediums, and larges, I think, still on the vendors. It does, but it's very cool, man. Like, let me go back and show you this. How did I get out of the whack here? My computer. Oh, I know what happened. I brought this in. So yeah. Yeah, it is kind of a Carvana thing, but what it's cool is that it allows you to see all these cars rather than being in a case. It allows you to see the whole car. That's what I like about it. And then you can have this holds 40 cars. So right now I got mostly Porsches in here. Most of these were, I would say, a bulk of these were bought at our show with Jerry. Let's see. Did I need to? I don't think. You got
space for a few more.
Yeah, I do actually, and extra medium for Sean.
Extra medium.
Okay. All right. So again, and then I did add, if you guys noticed, I did add the Melbourne show and the Star Wars show. What's great about the Star Wars show, we've been having that at the VFW. We've been having that at the VFW for years, 5 years or more. And let's see. And it's not that I don't like the VFW. It's just the parking there is not good. And then there's a lot of rules and we can't get into set up tables or anything. So I really at first, I'm gonna say that, it's Lisa really is the reason why we moved it, because she said I refuse to basically work the show if you're going to bring it back to VFW. And I just, because there's really not a lot of space for her to work there, and I get and I end up complaining about the table setup and stuff. So we're going to bring that to Altamont. All the vendors, if you sign up for Star Wars and GI Joe, you are gonna have to have basically a Star Wars table or GI Joe focused space. So you can bring some other things, but it's got to be basically the people that come to this show are hardcore GI Joe and Star Wars. Okay, so I'm going to try to get the 501st there. We are going to have our GI Joe guys, I believe. We're going to have guests. We're going to have at least probably one or two guests, because it is at a hotel. I know it's just a one-day show, but I'm going to go ahead and invest the money on that because I got bigger space. We are going to be charging $10 to get in, but it is a focused Star Wars GI Joe show. And what's awesome is that it is at a hotel. So that means that we can have people come from out of state, and we can do the room sales and all of that. And Jeff is going to help me. We're going to make it big from the bus, Lisa says. Room trading, big. Okay. I'm interested in what Jeff's ideas here are. So, get the tire tracks for what are you talking about, Lisa?
You like to throw me under the bus. So
I'm not throwing you under the bus.
Yeah.
I think that this is a positive. Okay. I didn't like the idea at first, but once I put it out there and once I got the contract, I really do think that this is the right thing to do, moving it to the hotel. So I am happy about that. Okay. All right. So there's lots of shows to sign up for, guys. Please join us this Sunday in Altamont, or I'm sorry, not Altamont, in Port St. Lucie. I don't know what I'm thinking of. Port St. Lucie. Keith Coogan will be our guest this Sunday. And we're going to have some great vendors, including Jeff Mikado, Mark Moriarty, Jason Facenis, they're all going to be there. The Mount Rushmore of toys will be there, okay, along with Jerry. Add him to the Mount Rushmore. We'll have Keith Coogan. We're going to have Jose. We're going to have Marco. We're going to have, we're going to have Andre Rugi selling some cool Hot Wheels. We're going to have Tracy is going to be there with some new dolls. Plus, we have a new Barbie vendor, and and Margaret and Mike will be there. Let's see who else. Just off the top of my head, several other vendors that we haven't had at all. So I appreciate you guys. And they're bringing the heat, right, Marco? They're bringing the heat. Okay, we will see you there this Sunday at 9 a.m. Have a good week, guys, and we'll see you next Tuesday right here on the Florida Toy Shows channel. Have a good week, guys. Bye now.